Check, 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 check. Let's see, we testing this out right now. Peace, 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 peace. I think we're alright. All messages are visible. Alright. Adjust that there. Oh, we could get the little actions on it. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all, what's happening? I see y'all. I see y'all. What's happening? I'm just messing around. Oh, we got the little bubbles actions. Watch yourself. I'm just messing around. What's happening with you? What's happening? It's my first time really going live, so I'm just playing around with it. Thank y'all for tapping in. Islam, Islam. Peace, peace, peace. All that good stuff. Hotel. You know what I mean? Alright. House of Moors. This is Seals in here. What's happening? Oh man. So we got some text here that I'ma just read, touch on for you while people word. It's all love. I'm gonna just touch on a few of these while we just getting acclimated. This book here, Othello's Children in the New World, Moorish History and Identity in the African American Experience, Jose V. Pimienta Bay, PhD. If you don't know about this one, you want to get it. It's a lot of good information. Let's see. I'm just flipping. Here we go. Page 27. The 4th century chronicler Claudian indicated that Moors were directly related to the early Negritans and Ethiopians. Indus Kamet Kush writes in the text what they never told you in history class. I gotta get that book. I heard about this one. To Claudian, North African chronicler, 365 to 408 CE. Moors, Ethiopians, and Negritans, that is Negroes, were one and the same. Let me read that again. Moors, Ethiopians, and Negritans, that is Negroes, were one and the same. He speaks of the Moors who dwell beside the waters Gir, most famous of the rivers of Ethiopia that overflows its banks as if it had been another Nile. The Gir referred to here is the Niger, or the Niger. Oh, snap. Amazing book. What's happening? I seen a few people getting in. I'm just getting Islam. I'm just getting acclimated. Good day, Islam. The Story of the Moors in Spain, Stanley Lane Poole. Amazing book. Amazing book. When the Rocks Cry Out, Horace Butler. Amazing book. If you don't got that, gotta get that. Oh, this one is really interesting. Dogs of God. Columbus, the Inquisition, and the Defeat of the Moors. James Reston Jr. So this is more from a, Christian European perspective, but it's interesting. You should always look at different perspectives. I'm gonna just read this one little piece, and then I'll get into some questions and such. This is just in the prologue. It has been suggested that the 3 most important years in American history are 1492, 1776, and 1865. Of these, 1492 goes far beyond American history. It is pivotal as well in Spanish history, in Jewish and Arab history, in world and church history. Indeed, it is difficult to imagine another single year in the past millennium when so many significant strands of history came together and so changed the world in one swoop. the completion of the 500-year movement to conquer the Moors. Hold up. Wait a minute. It was a 500-year movement to conquer our ancestors. Whoa. Did you peep that? That's a long-ass movement. The other part, the end of the 800-year reign of the glorious culture of Islamic Spain, the consolidation of the modern Spanish state, the sinister explosion of the Spanish Inquisition, the Spanish Renaissance in art and literature, the expulsion of the Jews, and the discovery of the New World. All of that happened in 1492. And I think it's good to start right there before I get into some questions, because I just want to break something down. It's something that I find very interesting when we think about 1492, and especially 1865, because that's the year, that said really to end slavery. 1865, slavery is over. If I'm not mistaken, maybe somebody Google that for me. When did slavery end officially in the U.S.? But I believe it's 1865. We're going to roll with that right now. Then I got me my little, we're going to school real quick. Got me my little blue board. let's see if we can get this. Oh, man. 1865, right? 1865. And they said, they always be saying, black people, we was enslaved for 400 years. We was enslaved for 400 years. So if we say the end of slavery was 1865, and we was in slavery for 400 years, right? Let's backtrack that, minus 400. Okay, 1865 minus 400 gives us 1465. Boom. 1465. Are you walking with me now? All right, boom. 1492. You just heard my man. Important year. Everything was going on. That's when the Moors was finally conquered. And that's also when Christopher Columbus, quote unquote, discovered America. 1492 minus 1465. What is the difference in years there? Are you doing the math with me? Everybody at home, gotta cross out the 8. You gotta carry the 1. And that's 7. Got it. 27 years. Boom. Are you doing the math? Ladies and gentlemen at home, 27 years is the difference between when slavery officially started and the Moors fell. You don't find that odd? You don't find that a coincidence that the same year the Moors fell and disappeared in history, right around that time slavery started? Come on, talk to me. What you think? Am I tripping? Does that seem like too much of a coincidence to you? Let me see what we got now. Let's see. Islam, Lee Jackson, Islam. Oh, we got a physical slavery. That was faithful. I even Sodom. I see you out here. What you guys think? Is that a coincidence? Just so happens it's just right around each other, nothing to do with each other. They not related. They are related. What you think? We'll get back to that. Crazy coinkadink. I agree. Joshua Mitchell, question. So is it true the Europeans added 400 years in the year 2018? It's not the actual year. I don't know what you mean by that. Joshua Mitchell, what you mean added 400 years? No? Keep going. Golden, think they had it figured out, especially with the sellout they had working for them. Yeah. I was really just putting that on the record because I've been doing a lot of studying of Moorish history, and specifically how the Moors fell and what happened. And when you start looking into the history, it's really clear. You can see the connection between, when our ancestors was ruling, the peak, what was going on at that time, what started happening to cause division. They started fighting each other. Enemy came in, took over. 1492. You see the wave in South America, Portuguese. I mean, did you know it's a Cordoba down in Is it Argentina? Yeah. Did you know that there's a Cordoba in Argentina? Cordoba is supposed to be in Spain. Why is it in South America? See, look into the connection, and when you see the history, you see, oh man. You see, they was just like this, conquered, boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you can see that clearly. This is Spain up here. Morocco, Northwest Africa, came down that coast, whew, right across, boom, boom, boom. All up in there, boom, boom, boom. I just seen somebody was having. CM Bay said they added 580 years to their Christian calendar versus the Moorish calendar. Green Coyote Bay. Word. Well, wise man once taught, man knows nothing by being told. So I think to answer the question, I would ask, I would say to look into, calendars, look into time. You know what I mean? Where did this year 2018 come from? And why is it an AD and a BC? Is it AD? Yeah. What is that? Why is that? You know what I mean? If we know that we was here for thousands upon thousands of years, why isn't it the year 560,000 million, whatever the year is? You know what I mean? I would say to start with that. I don't know to answer the question, but that's where I would look for researching. Egypt had black slaves too. Andre Wooding. Black slaves. I don't know what you mean by that. You gotta clarify. You mean by black? People aren't colors. You know what I mean? You mean Egypt had enslaved people that were African? Yeah. That's something that I've been learning when I've been looking into the history, is that when our ancestors conquered through Maya dynasty in the 700s, it basically opened up the trade route. And so that's when slaves, but really it's more so servants, and it's slave is a complex term, because when we think slave now, we thinking roots, whips, you know what I mean? Just real gruesome. But it wasn't exactly that in every place all over the continent. Anyways, it was a slave trade going on from the center, you know what I mean, the coast, all up in there, going up. And I just found out, what's the city? Palermo. And it's another, it's not Palermo. I think it's called Bari, Bari. It's a city in Sicily, in southern Italy. I want to say it's called Bari. I got to double check, but I just looked it up, and it was the main port city in southern Italy back in the Al-Andalusia time, 700 to 14, when the Moors was ruling. And it was trading slaves, but it was trading slaves coming from Eastern Europe, actual Slavic Slavs, Slavic people. And I found that really interesting, because they was taking them and they was making them into Muslim soldiers. And I said, so now we starting to see the trade. It was coming from Europe down and from Africa up. Yeah, I mean, so ain't nobody hands clean like that. But look it up. Don't believe me. Anything I'm saying here, don't believe what I'm saying. Andre Wooding. To answer your question, yes, Egypt was dealing in the slave trade. So was many other African and European and Asian nations. This is a fact of history. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oop. While we speaking on that, boom. Listen to the prophet. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery. Every nation. Due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. And that is why the nationality, or I ain't gonna get into all that, but you feel what I'm saying. Quran, dropping jewels, history. It's not just this religion thing. That's a question I had that I get a lot. Is being Moors a religion? The answer is no. You know, oftentimes people compare Moors to Hebrew Israelites, to Commetants, to Christians, to Muslims, to other religious groups or religious identities. But calling yourself a Moor isn't a religion. It isn't something you convert or, you know, you sign up to be. You know, it's who we are. It's like, being Chinese isn't a religion. You know what I mean? Being Persian isn't a religion. That's just their identity, who they are, their lineage, their bloodline. Seeing a few things. Islam, Cornelius, peace. Ismail, peace, peace, peace. Fahim, peace. Any other questions? Any other questions? You're born a Moor. This is true. This is true. Black Cobra 95. What are your thoughts of those Moors trying to make it seem like it's a gang or a club? I think a lot of things. I think at the core, it has a lot to do with greed. It has a lot to do with seeking power, wanting to control people, manipulate. Ultimately, it's not going to be successful, and they really only hurting themselves. But it's just, it's just a fact. I thought, to be honest with you, when I first learned about the Moorish Science Temple of America and Moorish Americans and Drew Ali, I felt like, oh, this is it. The people in this movement, oh, they the real righteous and like they 100%. People are people. You know what I mean? That's ultimately what I've come to understand. People are people. They gonna mess up. People are gonna do things they're not supposed to do, even though they know they shouldn't be doing that. Even though they know they misleading the people, they're gonna do it anyway. And that's not just to single out the Moorish Science Temple. That's with the Nation of Islam. That's with Buddhism. That's with Christianity. That's with, any sort of group, because it's not the group, it's not the religion, it's the people. There's nothing wrong with Islam. There's nothing wrong with true Christianity. It's nothing wrong with, this Quran. It's nothing wrong with the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's people manipulating, corrupting the teachings. Donovan B. If my mother is indigenous native to this land, does that make me a Moor? If my mother is indigenous native. Well, what do you mean by indigenous native, Donovan B? That's a bit confusing to me. We'll come back to that. Can you explain why Moors get so much heat from our RBG or Kemetic brothers? I like that question. PB Moore Bay. Man, and I should have grabbed that book. I just speak it off the yeah, I just speak it off the top. But I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know why, especially because I'm looking in this right quick. Hold on one second. It's chapter. Is that 47? Yeah, 47. In chapter 47, the title of the chapter, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. So, to be honest, I don't understand, because this book, you know, and what Noble Drew Ali teaches shows our connection to Egypt and the Kemetic sciences. So, you know, I don't understand that. You know, maybe maybe they don't see the connection. Maybe they don't understand the connection. But that's why I was going to grab the Stolen Legacy book, George G.M. James. In it, it's a part in the book where he specifically says our Egyptians or Kemetic brothers and sisters, they were getting invaded by Roman invaders. You know, Egypt was getting ransacked, and you can look this up in history. And at that time, the Egyptian brothers and sisters bounced, got up out of there, and took the knowledge and the science with them, and here it got low, which makes sense. You know what I mean? All them invaders coming, yo, get all the info, get all that. We got to get up out of there. We got to get low, hide the knowledge real quick, because they burning things. Look it up in history. Don't believe me. And where did they go? If you look on the map, Egypt is right here. They went west, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia. What we now know is, see that today, that was all the Moorish Empire. So they went right next door to Moors, to Morocco. And they hid there. And that science is what manifested into the Moorish Renaissance and the Moors and all of the architecture and the beauty and the grandeur in Spain. That's that knowledge. That's all of the science. So there's a literal direct connection to Egypt. So I don't know. I don't know why. I can't explain. I can't explain from my perspective why we get so much heat. But hopefully in time, you know, they'll understand it's just this Moorish part of our history is really just the link in the chain that connects us to everything else. You know what I mean? It's not we're Moors, so we're not connected to Egypt, or we're Moors, so we're not connected to wherever, Ethiopia, whoever. You know what I mean? Hope that answered the question. Peace, peace, peace. Because we still don't. Trying to get some questions in. Does the Muslims associated with the Moors? I don't understand that question, Adrian. Divine origins of the Asiatic nations. Yeah, Moors are custodians of ancient Kemetic knowledge. True. Egypt is over here. I'm not sure where you're saying here is, Feed Torches Bay. Who is the real Israelites? You ducking that question. No, I'm not ducking that question. I didn't even see the question. Oh, there we go. I see. Who are the real Israelites? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You like, do you want me to specify individuals? Like what kind of, you know what I mean? Who are the Chinese? Who are the black people? Like, how do you answer that question, honestly? I don't know what answer you really wanted from me. But you could look up the history of Israelites if that's what you're interested in. Tariq Bey, I love that question. Any further news on the Supreme Grand Body? No, no. And if you aren't aware, oopsies. Oh wait, it's a little. So we falling apart here, but just work with me. If you aren't aware, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, when Noble Drew Ali originally set up this movement, it was really working as a government. It was collecting taxes, you know what I mean, voting, having congressional meetings. And at one of these congressional meetings, they were speaking about this group called the Supreme Grand Council, not the Supreme Grand Body. Yeah, that's what it is, Supreme Grand Council. So it's the Supreme Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And it was this group, this executive body, I'm trying to find the page exactly, but it was this executive body within the temple that was responsible for the affairs, the administrative affairs of the temple, dealing with the law, and if someone violated the law, I want to get the actual quote so I can quote it to you. The man knows nothing by being told, so just hold on, bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. You feel me? Yeah. Political slavery. Okay, I think we're coming up on it. Dollars and cents. Yeah. Nickname, demanding ours. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Boom. To make changes. And this is in the whole session of the Moorish Science Body. The annual convention of the Moorish Science Temple of America opened October 14th, Unity Hall, Indiana Avenue, blah, blah, blah. So boom, to make changes. It is reported that the Prophet, the Supreme Executive Authority, will appoint a Supreme Grand Council, of which he will be the Supreme Grand Chairman. The Supreme Grand Council will have power and duty to control and supervise all the affairs and properties of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Supreme Grand Council has the power and duty to control and supervise. To control and supervise all the affairs. Not some, not most, not a little bit, all that. All that. All the affairs and properties. Properties of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So now do you see why this Supreme Grand Council is so important? That's who's in charge. But not just that. And they will be the sole judge of what constitutes conduct injurious to the order, peace, interest, or welfare of the organization, or at variance with its constitution and bylaws, also the rules and regulations made by the Prophet, and shall be the sole judge of the sufficiency of the evidence by which such conduct is shown. So now we're talking about judicial powers. That's how important this Supreme Grand Council is. And to bring you up to speed, I made a video, I think 2 years ago. 2 years ago, asking where is the Supreme Grand Council? Who are the members? What's going on with it? Because that's who we should be getting the information from. You know, that's who will be able to disseminate this information of how this organization is structured. What are the laws? How do you proceed? How do you get your nationality? Where do you proclaim? Things like that, questions like that, they would have the answers. They would set the rulings. They would set the law on what it is. Where they at? Where they at, though? Sorry, that was a long roundabout answer, but it's important. I wanted to put that on the record. Andre Wooden, with all due respect, I'm not an Israelite expert. You gotta find some other people for that, man. I'm not dealing with that today. Gee. Are we crayons? No, we are not crayons. Do the Muslims have any connection with the Moors? Yes. I'll be pulling out these books on you. This is the Random House Dictionary of the English Language. Who was that to ask the question? The Andrea Mashad. Peace, Andrea Mashad. I want you to walk with me on this. You get a dictionary. You know what I mean? Pull out a real dictionary. Or if you can, open up a screen on your phone. Type in define Moors or more. Don't even put the S on it. And I'm going to read this one, but you can read yours. A Muslim. There we have it. Yes, it's a connection. Moors, what a lot of people don't understand is that during that time, Muslim was synonymous with Moor. And Christian was synonymous with European, because those terms wasn't necessarily just tied to an organization. You know what I mean? Like, you're a part of a church, so you're a Christian, or you're a part of a mosque, so you're a Muslim. You know what I mean? It was more about the way of life and the people. And those are Moors, or those are Muslims, because most of Moors had practiced the way of life of Muslims. And that kind of even gets deeper when you think about the life of Muhammad. And there being no pictures of Muhammad, but him having a lot of close connections to African people. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. I don't even want to get into that, except for to say that in this book that I just showed, Life of Muhammad, right here, by Hazrat Mirza Bashir Ud Din Mahmud Ahmad. Oof, that's a name right there. Peace to you, brother. But in that book, it's a part in there which has a letter from Prophet Muhammad that he sent to the king of Ethiopia. And it's just really deep, really interesting to see the connections, especially if you think back to what I read about Ethiopians and Moors being synonymous. Let's get back to the questions. Excuse me. Huey P. Nuisance. Do we need to do status correction and get diplomatic immunity? No. I did research on my family's mom, dad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Word. Navi poet. My grandma told me she wasn't black before she passed. Word. Yeah. You know what's interesting? I was thinking about James Brown. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. Well, to make a song, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, would kind of mean that you wasn't proud of being called black, right? Why not? That's what I was like, I never really thought about the question behind that. Why weren't we proud of being called black? See, most people assume, oh yeah, because you see, it was the white man, he was bringing us down, and he was, you know what I mean? But when you start doing the history, you understand we didn't accept being called black, and we shouldn't now. But I don't want to get off on that. Do we focus on the various historical counts more than esoteric and natural nature laws than we should? That's a good question, Navi Poet. Do we focus on the various historical accounts more than the esoteric and nature or natural laws than we should? I don't. That's difficult to say when you say we, because I'm not sure who we is. I do think, generally speaking, Moors, so-called black people, we really need to get more in tune with our spiritual side, and not just reading esoteric knowledge, but meditating, really doing some serious meditation, some soul searching. I think we do need a balance of that, but I also feel we've been fed so much misinformation about our history that we playing catch up right now. So, we may be leaning too heavy on historical accounts, or it may seem like that, but I think it's more about the fact that we have so much history that we need to actually learn and catch up on. So it's just like we in overdrive, but we need to be in overdrive on the spiritual side too, in my humble opinion. Peace. What would you tell our Spanish brothers and sisters if they want to have a relation with us? Some of them don't know they are Moors, some do know. When you say Spanish brothers and sisters, Charlie Sears, do you mean like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans? What do you mean by Spanish? Just so I'm clear. Gotcha. Well, the name in itself, them, being Spanish or quote unquote speaking Spanish. When you do the history, well, where did that come from? Well, the Spanish, they came from, Spain, right? Then you look in the history and you see Moors was ruling that area for 700 years. So those people, and then you look in the history, especially of Portugal, you see a lot of Moors were taken from Portugal to South America and to Brazil. And actually, man, I was doing some research about it's a small town or a small area. I believe it's in Brazil. Yeah, I'm almost positive it's in Brazil. And they were Muslims, quote unquote Muslims, Moors that was not allowing themselves to be enslaved. And so they fall back to where they established a real Muslim Moorish town. But anyways, what I'm saying is many of the Moors that was brought to Southern America was then brought up the coast in through Central and Mexico. But if you didn't want to go to that, if you want to even get deeper, you could just look into the history of Mexicans and see the connection to the Incas and the Aztecs. And then you do the history and the research behind them, and you see that they're connected to the Olmecs. And then when you do the research behind them, you understand that we've been here and we've been traveling from the Americas to Africa back and forth for a long time. And then if you really want to go back even further, you understand that the land wasn't even split apart. So we was just traveling to the west of the land, of the one land, if we really want to look at it. But I hope that answered the question. And, in Spanish, they have mortal history. That's another thing, which is more in Spanish. And I was also realizing, because I was doing research, and I was like, man, why isn't there that much Islamic or Moorish architecture in Southern America or Central America? And a big reason is because when the Spanish came over here, especially after 1492, the Inquisition, all of that, as soon as they touched down, they was like, destroy any mosque, anything you see that seemed like Muslim, get it up out of there. Because they didn't want no resemblance or, anything about Moors, being lasting, trying to wipe out our history. Why does it seem like it's two different sets of Moors? Temple Moors versus active Moors. I believe a lot of that's due to propaganda and misunderstanding is the simple answer. Peace, Conway. Got a point, but if you give me a long haul. Another question. Should we as Moors associate with people with the last name Matamoros? I don't know what you mean by associate. Like, be friends with them? Like, know them? I don't know what you mean. But, think you should associate with anybody that's cool people. You should try not to associate with people that's doing evil things. It's kind of a simple way I look at it. We got any more questions? Man, I didn't realize I've been on here this long. I gotta get to eating. I gotta get some lunch going. I appreciate y'all sliding through. That's what it is. Well, let me answer. Let me say something about that. What I've noticed a lot with this Moor stuff is people constantly try to, like, yeah, I'm gonna try to trap the Moors with this. I'm gonna try to prove them wrong with this, and like try to figure out ways to, I don't know, try to somehow disprove this information as if it's not. I guess, my thinking is maybe people believe, yeah, if we can show that they was wrong on this question, it can discredit everything the Moors have to say. I guess that's the logic. I'm not sure. But I don't think people realize that this is historical information. This is not me making up anything. You know what I mean? Us being Moor, if you look in the dictionary, it says it, blackamoor. Compound word, black, adjective, Moor, the noun. Especially a Negro. Why? I mean, it's right there. Look in the history. Moor, Othello, Alexander Pushkin. You know what I mean? It's all there. Moor, Spain. Let's see it. Did I got something in here? Huh. Yeah, I'm going to read this real quick and get back to the questions. Answer a couple more questions and get up out of here. Let's see. It is customary to refer to these stirring events as the Arab. Oh, well, this is talking about when the Arabs conquered Spain. It is customary to refer to these stirring events as the Arab or the Islamic invasion or conquest of Spain, but only in a very limited sense was it either Arab or Islamic. It was mainly Berber. The Berbers were, as they still are, the indigenous inhabitants of Northwest Africa, the Maghreb. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Indigenous? Oh, wait a minute. So Moors and Berbers are connected? So now we got to look up the history of Berber? Let me see if it's in here. If not, I want you to look it up to see what Berbers originally called themselves, or the indigenous name they use, because it's really interesting. I'm going to see if it's in the dictionary, though. Nah, they don't have it in here. But the indigenous people call themselves the Amazon. And you should just look up what that means. Amazing. Anyways, let me get a couple more questions and then I get up out of here. Let's see. Najib, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Yeah. Matamoros means Moor killer. Well, I mean, why would you ask me that question, Black Cobra? What I ask you? Why would you ask me a question, should Moors associate with people that are named Moor killers? Is that, like, come on, man. Let's ask some sensible questions. It's like, I'm just thinking about this. Like, yeah, the cops, they're gonna go chill with the cop killers. They're gonna go, you know what I mean? I'm a policeman. I'm gonna go chill with the gang called the cop killers. Does that make they should associate with the gang called the cop killers? Come on, family. Uh, uh-huh. Got it. Moreno. Morena. Yeah, Morena. Moreno. Moro. Philippines, we connected to that too. No more questions. Okay, if there's no more questions, I think I'm gonna go ahead and dip on up out of here. Thank you guys for tapping in with me. Scroll up. Oh, here we go. We got one last question. Got it. Oh, whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you think about a national boycott for all members to not pay any more to their temple until there's unity? Whew. Whew. That is an interesting question. I never thought about that. Let me think on it. Now, man. Um, hmm. I think that's a good idea. Like just off my first thought about it. I mean, I think, I think it would need to be more. Um, the goal would need to be more defined and to be more tangible than simply unity. You know what I mean? Because unity is very vague. What does that mean? That, who decides when there's quote unquote unity? So it had to be something that's more objectively obtainable and verifiable, that everyone can see, okay, we've achieved the goal. So I would say more, in my humble opinion, I think that there should be, I don't necessarily know, I don't want to say boycott because I need to look up the word to really know what it means, but there should be a withholding of funds. There should be a um, a stoppage. Maybe is the right word. A withholding of funds, a stoppage until the issue of the Supreme Grand Council is addressed, meaning we establish or reestablish the Supreme Grand Council and they begin their active work. Because to me, in my opinion, without that peace, the Moorish Science Temple of America, we're not going to go nowhere. It's like, it's really like, it's like the engine. You know what I mean? It's like what we need, that peace. If we don't have that peace, we not functioning in any real tangible way. You know what I mean? It just becomes, religiouscy and a lot like church. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's a good question. Man, I need to think. Thank you for asking that. Bernard E.S. Bernard E.A. Sterling Bay. Easterling Bay, excuse me. Bernard Easterling Bay. That's gotta expose who doing for the people versus the dirty Moors. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, exile. Yeah. Well, I mean, on that note, I think, you know, I think what we have to realize is that uh, it's not easy doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Maybe I end with that. Is there anybody questions? It ain't easy doing the right thing. It's not easy being righteous when everyone else is not. You know what I mean? And standing up and saying, nah, this is not correct. You know what I mean? When you're getting intimidated or, they applying pressure or exiling you or outcasting you. All of that stuff comes with the territory. That's, the one thing I've learned on this journey that I've been on is that that's the cost. That's what comes with this journey. And that's why not many people want to walk this path. You know what I mean? Not many people are willing to speak about the Supreme Grand Council because it makes people uncomfortable. It starts exposing things. Not many people in a larger sense are willing to speak about Moors because it exposes things. You know what I mean? And it takes courage to be willing to stand on this. Um, so I'm sorry to hear that you exiled, brother, but uh, keep shining. You know what I mean? Keep walking the path as long as you know what I mean, doing what Drew Ali, doing the works that Drew Ali brought us. You know what I mean? Following that example. That's what I'm probably end with that. That's the one thing that if you listen to my videos, I always try to refer people back to. What did Drew Ali say? Don't believe me. Don't believe Taj. Don't believe whoever. Look and see what Drew Ali said, and then measure that. Use that to measure what anyone else is saying. And if what they saying don't match up to what Drew Ali said, the answer is simple. They're either misinformed or they're intentionally lying. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? That's the way I go about it. You know what I mean? So, even if you exiled, that's all right. Keep doing the righteous deed, man. Keep teaching. Where can we get that book? Amazon. Just look up Quran Circle 7. You can go to hermetic.com and read it for free. H-E-R, or no, excuse me, not Hermetic. Heretic. Yeah, I think it's heretic.com. Heretic.com. Somebody drop a link in there. Yeah, RV Bay Publications, RVBaypublications.com also. This is my first time being live, Cedric. Peace. Let's see. Seen a question. There we go. PB Moore Bay. Man, I appreciate. Oh man, I gotta get off this in a second because I really gotta get something to eat. But why hasn't the more? Or what I was saying was, I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. I'm gonna do this more often. I like answering the questions live like this. Why haven't the Moorish movement militaries yet or gone in a defense direction? I like that question. I like that question. Thank you, PB Moore Bay. Talking about military. What's up with the Moorish military? Where they at? Well, first I would say, why does your mind go to military and go to war? Why is that your concern? And the things of priority, list of priority. Why is war up there? Why is that even a focus? See, because from my perspective, I want to achieve the goal of a world where there is no military, where there is no war. There's peace in all lands, in all nations. Ooh, gotta think that way. But on some real tangible level, past the esoteric and, some people would say utopic ideal, let's talk some tangible things. Military. Who are we going to war with? The U.S.? Do you know what their budget is? Come on, family. Come on, family. Let's be realistic here. Who are we going to war with? With what ammunition? With what weaponry? When we gonna train? Where are we gonna train? That is like the idea of us trying to establish a military right now is so foolish, man. It's even the people, the FBI that's probably watching this, somebody, some agent somewhere, they probably laughing like, man, I don't know why these niggas, they keep talking about them. Come on, family. Even they know it's foolish. But I take it a step further. How many times was military mentioned in this? Where's the Moorish military mentioned in there? What about this? The Moorish literature. Was it say anywhere in here that Noble Drew Ali was talking about we need to set up our military? Let me know. Because I read it backwards and forwards. Up and down, left and right. I didn't see it. So my thinking is, if the prophet, if he didn't think of it as a concern to say we need to establish military and we need to have our more generals and we need to, if he didn't have that as a focus, maybe we'll just leave that to the side for right now. Maybe let's focus on us getting to realize we not black. Maybe that should be priority number 1. Does that seem reasonable? That don't cost us nothing. I don't have to shoot nobody to teach my people that we not black. I can just unshackle the chains just like that. I don't have to even, there's no war that needs to be fought. Just the war of the mind. That's my thought on the military. And on a real level, I also feel the people that really stress or really push for military, push for some sort of armed resistance against the U.S. or any sort of nation, I feel like those people are provocateurs that are trying to set up Moorish Americans and set up Moors to be labeled and classified as domestic terrorists. And so I don't even think it's wise, for people to play around and talk about a military overthrow of a country. You know what I mean? Let alone really even contemplate trying to set up some military, especially right now. Like that just doesn't even like if I had a to-do list, be at way at the bottom. Hope that answered the question. Oh, the prophet said you shouldn't even carry a pocket knife. Oh, man, hey now, Conway L. Stevens, hey now. I see you. Yeah, well, you say every nation has a military or at least some way to defend itself. I would ask yourself, does every nation have a military? You do the Googles, do your Googles, see if that's true. And is that true for every nation throughout time? Let's do the Googles, Even in utopia, I'm keeping my peace. This is a question I have for you guys. Real quick. Something I think about a lot. People say, well, if it comes down to me defending my life, I have to do what I have to do. Referring to the idea of killing someone in defense of your own life. And saying, I have to protect my life. And I always wonder, is that truly protecting your life? Think about it. You protecting your life or you protecting your body? Is killing someone and having that action on your soul, is that worth protecting this body that's temporary anyway? So my thinking is, if I have to kill someone to protect my life in the physical, is that action and me defending or protecting my life, let's say I live 100 years, is that 100 years worth the cost of killing someone that I'll have to pay after the afterlife? Because I think the afterlife is a little bit longer than this physical life. Is it worth it? Is it really protecting yourself in the long run, in the grand scheme of things? I don't know. What do you think? That's really a question I always ask people. I'm always interested in that because I don't think killing is an answer ever. Word. I hear that a lot, Bay. Knowledge of self is needed. Knowledge of self. Self-defense is needed. Ooh. What is self, though? Oh, what is yourself? You got to know what is real and what will pass away. Ooh, what we talking about, though? I hear that a lot, babe. Bhagavad Gita says, for the soul there is neither birth nor death. The soul that is will never cease to be. It is not slain when the body is slain. I hear that. I would say to that point, hold on, though. Hold on. Man, and see, this really showed my rustiness, because I actually should be able to flip through it a little quicker. Man, it's another part in here in the Quran that talks about the soul. Um, but the soul does pass away. It's not eternal. You know what I mean? There's a time when we will need the soul no longer, and that will fall away to the wayside too. But I'll pass on that. I should have had my studies right. I should have had my studies right, man. Nah, because it talks about, do not think with the Egyptians that one has. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. 1 second. 1 second. Somebody know what I'm talking about in the Quran? That part where it's talking about the soul? We didn't turn this into a little study session. Where we at with that? Where we at with that? Ah. Yeah, I have to take that L today. I ain't got it off the flip today. Next time, though. But somewhere in there, it talks about the soul. It's very important that you should read it. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 I'm saying, yeah. Look at the NOI. They have the FOI at least. True. I would say to that point, you should look in the NOI's history and where did it come from. The principles. Mm-hmm. Higher self and lower self. Yeah, yeah. Know thyself. This is true. One last question I want to ask y'all. Then I'm gonna really get up out of here, and because my battery about to die, and it's I gotta get ready for work, and I still gotta get something to eat. Ah, man. The question: do you feel knowing your history is important? I mean, whoever you are, doesn't have to be your more or whatever. Do you just feel knowing your history is important? Let me know. Yes or no? Is knowing your history important? Yes or no? And why? Some people say, hey, man, the history is the past. You can't change the past. It's already in the past. Leave it there. Focus on right now. Can't do nothing for you. Other people see it differently. Wonder what y'all think. Yes, it is. Yes, yes. I'm seeing some yes. Okay, but why? Why? Why is knowing your history important? Like, what is it? What does it do for you? You put some money in your pocket. You pay a light bill. You get some groceries. What's really important about history? I'm just being real. You know what I mean? Elias Bay, without knowledge of self, you can never properly govern your own affairs. If you don't know where you've been, how are you going to determine where you are going? Conway L. Stevens. Okay. Knowing who you are gives you power. You're always going to, Rose, you're always going to want to know who you are. Cornelius. Word. I agree. You know what I mean? I'm really just asking for a few reasons, but one, I've been working on understanding and being able to verbalize why knowing our history is important. You know, whoever, anyone knowing their history, but in a tangible way. You know what I mean? Not just the feel good stuff, or not just because it sounds nice, but you know, how do you apply knowing your history in a real everyday sense? You know what I mean? Hmm. Our history gives us a purpose. Hmm. Andrian Yusuf, absolutely. Without your foundation, you can't build your house. Mm, true, true. Or if you don't have a good foundation, if your foundation is like missing pieces of it, your house might be kind of wobbly. Mm. Sunrise's dilemma, it helps you understand the agenda in the present. Word. I feel that. A purpose to live. Mm-hmm. Man, thank you for the answers. I agree. You know, I've been looking at the concept of Sankofa, you know what I mean, going back, reaching back to grab what you may have forgotten, you know what I mean, to help you to move forward. And I've been really focusing on what are some real ways that we can show and prove, you know, knowing your history is helpful. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about something as simple as if you know, um, let's say you're driving, right? You're driving on the road and you're doing 75. You know what I mean? You go around this corner and boo, on the freeway, boo, you get the ticket. You're supposed to be doing 65. You were doing 75. You get the ticket. I know more. Oh, well, you could just, I'm not talking about that. Just walk with me. You feel me? If you don't know the history of that cop sitting right there in that blind spot, and you do the same thing, 75, you're going to get that ticket right on again. But if you had that history, that knowledge, that cop sits right there. When it gets to that bend, we'll slow the air down. Nice, good 63. You know what I mean? Get way out of sight. Then speed on back up to 75. That's like a very simple, basic way that I've been trying to communicate why knowing the history is important. But on a larger scale, you know, you can apply it and have much more advantage or things that can help you with more than just getting a speeding ticket. That's just really to bring it down to some tangible stuff. Uh, yeah. Without study of history, we would have never known about Noble Drew Ali. True, true. All right, man. Well, I done been on here a lot longer than I had planned. I thank y'all for tapping in. What do I want to leave off with? Oh, snap. Somebody was asking me. Somebody was asking me earlier. Somebody was asking me earlier about Spanish, about Spanish brothers and sisters, and about the connection to Moors. When the Rocks Cry Out, Horace Butler, page 39. The Mali transatlantic voyages became critically important when I remembered that Montezuma had said the Aztecs were foreigners who arrived recently aboard ships that had come from the direction where the sun rises. From Mexico, West Africa's Mali was in the same direction as the rising sun. Spanish writers who saw the Aztecs and who knew the Moors had revealed that the Aztecs even wore the same clothing used by Africans called Moors. Read more on this. It's a lot of good information. Look into Aztecs, look into Mali, the history of that connection. It's all there, people. You know what I mean? Mali, West Africa, Senegal, amazing country that I didn't even realize was I think it said 99% Muslim, which is, you know, really mind blowing and beautiful. That's it. Let me see. Peace to everybody that was in here. Conway, I'm just gonna run through y'all. Najib. Let's see. Cornelius, thank you for the questions. Kwame, Elias, Rose. Who else was in here? Shabaka. Everybody else that was in here. Appreciate you. Much love. Yeah. More, please speak on your views on esoteric more science. Next time. Maybe I'll tap in tomorrow. We'll talk about some more things. On that note, talk about esoteric. I know we kind of beat down, but it's some good information. I'll close out with that. I'll close out with that. We are not rich by what we get and hold. The only things we keep are those we give away. Much love to you. Keep shining. Be amazing. Spread love. Love instead of hate, because that is the way. That is the answer. That is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Much love. Peace. How we end this? There we go.